Okay, so for the all people, hope my voice is clear for you. Can you please confirm me on chat once? All guys, just give me 1 minute. So now, okay. So today's topic is we are going to discuss about Docker. What's our topic today? Write the heading, Docker. This is going to be very interesting topic. All of you need to be very careful. Why? Because it's gonna change your entire DevOps perception. Okay. Docker. From today onwards, I'm going to update the notes directly on GitHub. Normally, I write on Notepad and giving on GitHub, right? But from today, I'll give it directly on GitHub only. What's the name of the concept today? Docker. In last class, we have seen Ansible, right? How many annual assignments on Ansible? What about remain? Half? See, if you do the assignment, it is beneficial for you only, not for me, right? If you do assignment, am I going to get any money? I'll not get anything. It's for your purpose only. Okay. Make sure that you are doing all the stuff I am giving. Rule number 6, Docker. Okay. Before explaining the Docker, I will tell you one thing. In Ansible, we have done deployment, right? Sir, deployment need to be done on 3-tier architecture. Dev environment, 3-tier architecture. Testing environment, 3-tier. UAT environment, 3-tier. Production also. Now tell me how many servers we require for application? 6. How many environments we have? 3. In each environment, 3. These are how much? 6. 9. Then you know the math, right? That means, see, if you want to deploy, actually it is not 3, it's 4 actually, including UAT. Let's take 4 environments. Each environment have 3 servers. 4 3s are how much? 12. Okay, make this point very clear. How many you have? 12. That means you need to create 12 servers and you need to use the 12 servers, right? But guys, in production and UAT, we need to maintain 2 servers actually, not 1. For developing and testing, 1 server is required. But for UAT and production, we need another 1 plus. That means total. Again, 3 plus 3, how many servers? 6. 12 plus 6? 18. Seems it's gonna be the math class now actually. Okay. So here I'm writing. So for developing, all are 1 servers. 1 into 3. Testing, 1 server. Again 3. 3 plus 3, how much? But for UAT, we require 6 servers. 2 web servers, 2 app servers, 2 database servers. Again for production, 2 web, 2 app, 2 database. How many servers totally? 6. How much? 12. 3. 18. 15. And this one? That means to give the application to the end user. How many servers you require, sir? 18 server. That means, let's imagine if each server cost 100 rupees per day. 100 rupees per day. What will happen per day? How much we need to pay? 1800 we need to pay, for example. How much it is? Then 1800 is going to be very huge amount or not? Example I am telling. Okay. So now see here what happened is, before starting the Docker, we need to know about the monolithic and microservices. What we need to know about? Monolithic and microservices. Because Docker is depending upon completely microservice. Docker is depending upon microservice. So first of all, you need to understand the basic difference between both monolithic and microservice. What is the meaning of mono? Single. Let's take one application. What is the application here you are seeing? Paytm application, right? In Paytm application, what you are seeing here, services you are seeing. What you are seeing? I have an application. In this application, I have some services. All these services is going to deploy on one server. And this one server will have only one database. How many database? Everything is single. That is called as monolithic. What we are going to call it as? If an application contains n number of services, let's take Paytm has money transaction, movie ticket and train ticket. All of these servers are included on one server only. How many servers? One server. Then it is called as monolithic. Monolithic means everything single. Web server single, app server single, database server single. Is the point clear? We have seen monolithic on last time. But sir, second one is microservice. What is second one? Microservice means, tell me sir, I have an application. What do I have here? One application. That application have 10 features. How many features? For example, 10 features I have, or let's take 18 features, for example. That means here, microservice means same example. Again, take Paytm. Paytm has lot of services. Each service is going to be running on different server now. There, all services are going to run on single server, right? But here, each service is going to run on single server. That means 18 services need how many servers? Correct or not? And again, 18 application servers, 18 web servers, 18 app servers. But there, one application server, one app server, one database server. Are you spotting the difference? That means everything is going to increase into 18 times or not. So that's it. So for microservice, what will happen is, each service is going to be hosted on single server. And that single server is going to have single database. Monolithic means single. Monolithic means what? Microservices means multiple. Is the concept clear? I'll explain it very easy for you one more time. Let me open the Paint. Why? Because guys, wherever you go for interviews, they are asking Docker and Kubernetes very vastly actually, okay? But I'll tell those very in depth for you. Pay attention here. Okay, let's take, I have a server here. For example, it's my server. Okay, it is Paytm server. Which server? Paytm server. In this Paytm server, I have the services. Like, for example, take movies service. Movies service, train service, DTH service, recharge. All the services are on single server. Which server? And this single server is going to have single database. What it is going to have? There is a point here. It is called as monolithic. What we are going to call it as? Monolithic means single server, single database, multiple services. What it is? Multiple services. Sir, but if we talk about microservice, see what will happen? Multiple servers we are going to have. Server number 1, database number 1. Okay, server number 1, database number 1. Let's make a copy of it. So one is movies. One is movie server, and movie service is having movie database. MDB means movie database. MDB means what? Movie database. Here I am giving PDB. PDB means Paytm database. Complete application database it is. Second one is Trine. What is second one here? Trine is also having TDB, Trine database. Third one is DTH. So DTH is having DDB database, DTH database. Fourth one is what? Recharge. So it is having RDB. What is gonna have, sir? RDB. Is it clear now? It is first one is monolithic. First one is what? Second one is what? Microservice. First of all, draw this diagram on your books, all of you. Same diagram. I'll write it as monolithic. Monolithic. Mobo, not mono. Monolithic. Second one is microservice. That's it. Draw all of this. Instead of drawing, you can take a snap as well. If you are creative, you can do it. Is it clear now? So monolithic means single server, single database. Microservice means multiple servers and multiple database. So here all the services are going to be embedded on single server. All the services are going to embed. Embed means add on single server. But here each service is going to be on multiple servers, and multiple servers have multiple databases. Now you tell me, sir, which one you prefer? You don't tell any answer. Okay? Why? Because you already know this concept, right? Let them tell. Microservice is very best. How many of you tell monolithic? Raise your hands. How many of you say monolithic is better? Nice. If the person who haven't raised your hands, you need to go outside. Okay? Okay, monolithic, okay, 5. How many of you say microservices? Go outside. If you are not responding, means you are not listening to the class, right? Correct or not? Okay. So see here, monolithic and microservices. Monolithic means all services are on single server. Microservice means each service is on individual database. Sir, which one we need to prefer now? It is a very big question for all the companies now. Sir, if you talk about monolithic, let's take example. Sir, monolithic, how many servers I have here, for example? Monolithic. Servers, not services. Single server. For example, let's take single server is going to cost 10 rupees, sir. How many rupees? For example. But here, how many servers? How many rupees? If we talk about cost perception, which one is better, sir? From the cost perception, monolithic is better. All of you agreed. So monolithic is good. Huh? So then here my question is, sir, in monolithic, for example, there is some issue on recharge. There is some issue on recharge. If I'm trying to recharge, it is not coming to me. It is going to some other person. Issue or not. Then I need to shut down the server. I need to redeploy it. Sir, issue is only with recharge, na? But movies is going to shut down, Trine is going to shut down, DTH is also going to shut down. Why? Because all are on a single server. Now you tell me which one better. Are microservice, we have a lot of money, right? Of course, you are telling me microservice, but microservice we are having lot of money, right? We need to invest lot of money, as well as we need to manage lot of servers. In depth we can go now. Yeah, on where? But cost is going to be very effective, right? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. See, in monolithic, these three services are also going to shut down along with recharge. Issue with only recharge, but we are going to shut down all these, right? That's it. Any guesses from your end? Apart from Hemant. Why? Because he listened all these classes. He can tell the answers very easily. Okay. So any guesses? Now, which one we need to prefer? Monolithic or microservices? Are you fixed? Fixed. Okay. Can I lock it? Okay. So now if you are fixed with microservices, you need to handle lot of servers. Handling lot of servers will make you more time consuming. Correct or not? Not, man. Ansible is there now. Ansible, what I said, managing one server is equal to managing 100 servers, same time or not? That's it. Sir, in real time, which we are going to prefer means both we will prefer. Both we will prefer. Depends upon project. Depends upon, for example, let's take, I create one application. What I create? In this application, I have only one feature. I can go with monolithic because I have only one feature, right? But if I have 10 features, I can opt for microservices. Is the point clear? So remember, selecting the right architecture is depending upon how the application is going to work. If the application is a very big application, you can opt for the microservice. But if application is not big, if application is very slow, I mean like small application, you can go for the like that. For example, I have one pizza shop. I only sell pizzas. I don't sell anything. I only sell my pizzas from my shop only. Okay. Then is only one service. Ordering is the only service you have. Then you can go for monolithic architecture. Which architecture? But sir, let's take Swiggy. Swiggy will have lot of restaurants, lot of services, lot of menus, lot of dishes. That application is big application. So we can opt for. So depending, again I'm telling, selecting the architecture depends upon the application. Right, this point. Selecting the monolithic or microservice architecture. Selecting the monolithic or microservice architecture depends upon the application. Depends upon what here? Application. Okay. If application is small application, what we can select, sir? If application is very big, what we can select? Microservice. Today entire I'll go with introduction part only. I'm not going to tell any practical part here today. Complete intro part. So first of all, monolithic. Monolithic means what? Single server, multiple services. Okay. And single database only. What is the meaning of microservice? Multiple servers, multiple servers, multiple services with multiple DBs. But here how many DBs, sir? Single DB. Is the point clear? Monolithic, single server, multiple services, and single database. Okay, microservice, multiple servers with multiple services and multiple databases. Which you want to select, sir? Which you want to select? Or like how to select? How to select the architecture? How to select the architecture, sir? Based on application and its services. Okay, and it depends upon users as well. Actually, depends upon users, but main depend upon application and its services. Is the point clear now? So now you know about monolithic, you know about microservice. Sir, in monolithic, why we should not consider, sir? In monolithic, why we should not consider it? Because if I get any issue with one service, entire server need to be shut down. Issue or not? For that purpose, what we have done, we go with microservice. But microservice cost is going to be very, very. But in microservice, what you can do is, in microservice, if we have issue with recharge, you will stop only the server. Na? All of this service is going to run. Advantage or not? For that purpose, we need to consider microservices. What we need to consider? But you said, sir, cost is going to be affected, right? How to reduce the cost means in microservices, we don't use servers. We don't use servers. We use containers. What will you use, sir? Write this point. In microservices, we don't use servers. We use what? Containers. Is it clear now? Okay. Sir, what is the meaning of container now? First of all, my question is, what is the meaning of container? Container is a virtual machine. Container is what? But without operating system. Container is what here? Virtual machine, but it doesn't have any operating system. So then where we are going to get the operating system means from the image. From where we are going to get the operating system? So if you see here, container is nothing but an virtual machine which does not have any operating system. To create a container, what we need to have is, we need to have Docker. What we need to have, sir? Docker, D-O-C-K-E-R. So Docker, it is a tool. It's a tool used to create what? Containers. Okay. Container is what, guys, here? Virtual machine without operating system. To create the container, what you need to have? Docker. Docker is a tool used to create containers. But here you need to know about one thing that is called as image. What it is called as? Image consists of operating system and packages which are predefined, which are already installed. What is the meaning of image? Consists of operating system and packages which is already installed. Is it clear? So now one more time, what is the meaning of container? Container is a VM, but it does not have any operating system. Next, Docker. What is the meaning of Docker? It is a tool used to create containers. And what's the meaning of image? Consists of operating system and packages which is already installed. For example, I want to create one container. In that container, I need to have operating system or not. That operating system is already installed on this image. I want to create one Ubuntu server. So remember, guys, here I am telling assume server is equal to container. Assume server is equal to container. It is also called as VM. All are like, which comes under same thing, but I'll tell the difference. Server is equal to container is equal to VM. That means you can deploy your application on server, you can deploy your application on VM, as well as you can deploy your application on container as well. Is the concept clear? Okay, I'll tell you about this one. Why these all are equal to. Okay, I'll tell the difference. Already in our demo class, the very third class, I said about the difference between server and VM, right? If you remember. Okay. Let's spot the difference now. I'll explain it one more time. Already you have it on diagram. Don't follow this one. Why? Because I'll explain it more easily. Like, of course, it is also right example, but I'll explain it on more easy way. Okay. So let me open the paint actually. I'll open the paint. All of you taken the picture or okay, fine. Delete. So for example, let's consider first of all, I'm talking about server. What I'm talking about? Server, you know about server, right? In server, what we can deploy, sir? In server, what we can deploy? Application. Correct or not? In server, we can deploy application. For example, consider it is called as physical server. Which server? Physical server. In physical server, what happens exactly? Listen to it. Okay. If I want to create one application, I can create. But this is going to consume the space here. What it is going to consume? Space. Is going to consume space. Consume and manpower is needed. Why? Because if server is failed, I need to go to office. Then only I can be able to troubleshoot. Without that, I cannot be able to troubleshoot. It is what you are going to call as physical server, sir. What you are going to call it as physical server. Now, next I am going to talk about virtual machines. After physical servers, we have something called as virtual machines. Which machines? Virtual machine. Okay. So here comes the second part, that is called as VM. What we are going to call it as VM. VM means what, guys? Here virtual machine. PS means physical server. Now I am talking about virtual machine. Sir, in virtual machine also we can run the applications, correct or not? In virtual machine also we can run the application. But here in virtual machine, what are the limitations? First of all, virtual machine is going to consume your hardware resource. Why? Because where you are going to create virtual machines? Inside our computer only, right? Virtual machine is going to consume hardware. What is going to consume? For example, let's assume my computer have 8 GB of RAM, 1 TB of hard disk. With the 8 GB of RAM, with 2 GB of RAM each, I create 3 virtual machines. How many virtual machines? I have only 8 GB, sir. How much I have? So I am writing it here. I have 8 GB of RAM and 1 TB of hard disk. And 1 TB of hard disk. So now what happened here exactly, you know? With the help of this 8 GB RAM, I am going to create, it is one virtual machine, second virtual machine, and it is going to be your third virtual machine. So now here each virtual machine is going to consume 2 GB of RAM. How much? 2 GB. 2 GB for this one, 2 GB for this one, 2 GB for this one. And again, each virtual machine is consuming 250 GB of memory. How much? Here 250, here 250, here also 250. Okay. Now you tell me, out of 8 GB, 6 GB gone. How much of RAM I have? And out of 1 TB, 7.5 GB is completely gone. How much you have till? 2.5, 250. Is it correct? Tell me how much RAM I still, how much storage I still left? In 1 TB, already my 750 GB is done. No. Tell me the answer. I'll give you some time. Take your time. Tell me the accurate answer. 274. How much it is? Why? Because 1 TB is equal to 1024 GB. Correct or not? How much GB is consumed? 750. Then what is the remaining? 250 plus 24. What is the value of 250 plus 24? 274. Now you tell me, sir, if I want to create one more virtual machine, can I create, sir? I cannot. Why? Because if I want to create new virtual machine, I need to give my 2 GB of RAM to new virtual machine. If I give my 2 GB of RAM to new virtual machine, how come my system will work? Will it work, sir? Then again, limitation or not? So for that purpose, first of all, it will consume the hardware. Second thing is, we need to install OS separately. We need to install OS. So hardware is consuming and OS is going to install separately. So these are going to be disadvantage or not. But what are the advantages if we talk about? Do we need to provide electricity? Do manpower required here? Why? Because you can log in from anywhere, right? If you have a system, that's it. Sir, but again it is failed model. Which model? Virtual machines is failed. Why it is got failed, sir? Why it got failed? 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me draw a line for it. Why the virtual machine got failed, sir? 1 second. Why it is not getting properly? Okay. In virtual machine, what are the disadvantages? First of all, consuming hardware. Okay. Second one is we need to install operating system packages separately. Correct or not? So write these 2 points for physical server and virtual machine. Write as disadvantages or limitations. First one is physical server, second one is virtual machine. Depending some water. Okay. So now first one, physical server. What are the limitations? Hardware is going to be limited. We need to extend always. Second one is electricity always. Third one is manpower. And one more thing is we need to provide some space here actually. But virtual machine space is not required. Manpower is not required. Electricity is also not required. But what are the limitations here? Consuming lot of hardware as well as we need to install operating system separately. And here occupy space. Space. Consume. Consumes without space consuming. Anything is fine. Consume space. Okay. Sir, then after what happened? We are going to cloud servers. Why? Because here the hardware is limited, right? First one is hardware is limited. In consume, in consume not. In cloud, what we can do is we can give unlimited hardware. Why? Because T2 medium, T2 micro, T2 large. Everything we can provide unlimited or not. First one. And second one is in cloud, in already AMI, we have the operating system. If you see, we are having disadvantages on VM, but 2 disadvantages are overcoming on cloud servers. Which servers? Cloud servers. Sir, in cloud server, if we talk about here, cloud servers, hardware we can give lot of as per our wish. I can extend the hardware. For example, I give 30 GB of hardware. I mean like storage. I can extend to 300 GB as well. I give 1 GB of RAM, 1 CPU only. I can give 100 GB of RAM and 100 CPUs as well. That means it is overcome or not. Second one, installing operating system separately. If we talk about cloud servers, in AMS, we are already having operating system. Do we need to install operating system separately? Do we need to install packages? But again, we are having some limitations of cloud servers. First one is money. If you give 100 GB of RAM and 100 CPUs, your bill is going to be very, very huge. Correct or not? And if any disaster came, for example, if any disaster came, complete data center lost, data is going to be vanish or not? Okay. Of course, it won't happen. By God's sake, it won't happen. But if it's happened, everything is lost. Sir, if you see here, money is the main cause for this thing. Actually, in physical server, we have a lot of limitations. To overcome the limitations of physical server, what we have introduced? VMs we have introduced. In VM, we have few limitations, and this limitation is overcome by cloud servers. But in cloud servers, first of all, money is going to be very, very important. Second one is you need to manage multiple servers. For example, let's take microservice. You have 18 servers. How many servers? And 1830. What is the value? 1830. 64. 54, sure. Okay. So that means you need to manage those much of servers or not. That means managing servers is going to be very, very risky. Why? Because you are having a lot of servers. So then again, we are having limitations on cloud servers. Where we are having it on, sir? To overcome the limitations, finally we are using containers. What we are using? Sir, what is the meaning of container? Means I'll tell the limitations first of all here. Sir, I need to create 54 servers. How many servers? I already said that you can deploy your application on server, or you can deploy your application on VM, or you can deploy your application on container as well. Okay. That means instead of creating servers, I'll create containers now. What I'll create? I'll take single server only. I won't take multiple servers. I'll take only single server. In this single server, I am going to create 54 containers. What I'm going to create? Sir, now if you talk about, I need not to maintain all the 54 servers. I need to maintain only one server. Why? Because inside this single server only I create the containers. Correct or not? So where I am going to create means container, you can create the containers on your local laptop. Or you can create containers on cloud as well. Where you can create containers? On your local laptop, or you can create containers on cloud as well. Is it clear, sir? Sir, if you see the disadvantage of cloud servers, what are the disadvantages we are having on cloud servers? First one is money. Second one is managing. Sir, containers is going to charge 0 rupees for one container. If you create 100 containers, 0 rupees. Nothing price. Completely free of cost. Then this limitation overcome or not, sir? Second one is what? Managing servers. Sir, here you need to manage only one server. Why? Because all your 54 containers are going to be reserved on single server or not. Then if you compare all the limitations of cloud servers, virtual machines and physical servers are overcome on which one? Containers. So containers are going to create by using which one? Docker. Is it clear? That's it. So take a picture or draw this diagram for you. So containers here I am writing. What are the advantages? No money need to pay. And you can create unlimited containers. What you can create? Cons. Cons means containers here. Is it clear for you now? Taking the picture? The concept clear? Okay, I'll take 10 minutes of class from now. Why? Because like I'm not feeling very well actually. Even I'm not able to speak. Okay, but I'll finish the intro class now. Introduction part. So all these 4 steps are clear now. So now, sir, in order to create containers, what you need to have, sir? Docker you need to have. Visual you need to have. So let's talk about Docker now. Okay, up to now what you have seen what is the meaning of monolithic. What is monolithic, sir? Single server, multiple services. And what is the meaning of microservice? Multiple servers, multiple services and multiple databases. And how to select the architecture? Based upon application and services. So what is the meaning of container? Virtual machine does not have any operating system. What is the meaning of Docker? Tool to create container. And what is the image? Consists of operating system and packages which are already installed or predefined. So now let's discuss about Docker. What we are going to discuss about? Because Docker is a tool that is going to create containers, right? So I'm going to discuss about the Docker now. Okay. So here, let's take this one. Sir, Docker is a tool which we are going to learn now. Here, see this point. It is an open source tool. What it is? Open source platform or tool. Okay. Use it to create, deploy, and run application. That means you can create your application on Docker, you can deploy your application on Docker, and you can run your application on Docker. Docker is written on which language, guys? Go language. Docker uses containers. That means Docker is going to create containers on host operating system. Where it is going to create? Host operating system means my computer or server operating system. For example, I install Docker on my computer. I install Docker on my, then operating system is Windows. This computer is Windows or not? If I'm installing Docker on server, on Ubuntu server, that is Linux or not? Then host operating system is Linux. If I install Docker on Mac OS, host operating system is clear. And again, one more time, Docker creates or uses, anything is fine, creates containers on host operating system. Host operating system means the place where you install the Docker. I mean, the place where you install. For example, if I install Docker on Windows, my host operating system will be. If I install Docker on Linux, my host OS will be. If I install Docker on Mac OS, my host OS will be Mac OS. Okay. For example, Docker is going to run on all the platforms. Docker can run all the platforms, but majorly it supports Linux distribution. That means you can install Docker on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, but it vastly supports. It majorly supports what kind of operating system? Linux. It allows application to use same Linux kernel of the system. For example, see, I have the container. What I have? Okay. Inside the container, I have some application. What I have? Application. This container is going to create on server or not? This container is going to create some server. For example, this server is having operating system of Linux. This Linux will have some kernel or not? This container can directly use this kernel. Point clear? I have one container. Inside my container, what I have, sir? Application. This application need to have some operating system or not? So this application can directly use my Linux operating system. What it will directly use? That's it. And it can use the direct Linux kernel as well. That's it. Okay. Docker perform OS level of virtualization called as containerization. Remember, very, very important point, right? This complete point. Containerization means OS level of virtualization. Docker performs OS level of virtualization, also known as containerization. Very important point. Is it clear? Okay. Docker performs OS level of virtualization. It is also known as containerization. See, before Docker, many users face many problems that a particular code is working on developer system, but not on our system. Okay. What is the meaning of this point? Means like all of you know about PUBG, right? PUBG. How many of you played PUBG here? Hey, raise your hands. Even I played PUBG. Okay. So now let's take the PUBG application, sir. PUBG came to India on which year? 1718, right? In the middle of 1718. So what happened is, if you remember, in 2018, when the PUBG application came to India, first of all, user download the application or not? User download the application. But after downloading application, what we will do? We will do install. After installing, what will tell is application error will come. What will come? Why? Because PUBG is the game that is going to play on maps. If you want to play PUBG, you need to have maps or not. Without maps, can you play your PUBG game? Then what these people done is, they put the application on one place and maps on separate place. Is the point clear? They put the application on one place and maps is separate place. When you download the application, you cannot play the application. Why? Because if I want to use the application, I need to have what? Maps is dependency or not. Then application is on one side, maps is on separate side. That means I download the application, I'll install the application, but without maps, this application will not able to work. So all of this faced this issue or not, sir? Initial stage. But after that, 2018 after, they give the direct maps on application itself. This is what you call as containerization. What we are going to call it as? One more example, right, for containerization. Process of packing, right? Containerization, one more example. Process of packing application along with its dependencies. Process of packing application along with its dependencies. Is it clear, sir? These both are called as containerization. What these are both are called as? So now before Docker, what happened is, see, developer done what? Application given on one place, maps on one place. User faced issue or not? It is before Docker, but after Docker, developer giving the application and maps both on same place. Now the issue is resolved or not, sir? So that is what you call as containerization. What is the meaning of containerization? Two examples I said. First one is process of packing application along with its dependency. Second one is OS level of virtualization. What we are going to call it as? That's it. So Docker came in the market of year 2013. It was developed by Solomon Hykes and Sebastian Paul. Who developed the Docker application? Solomon Hykes and Sebastian Paul. Docker is a set of platform as a service. Use it to OS level of virtualization, where VMware uses hardware level of virtualization. Docker uses what? Docker uses OS level of virtualization. VMware uses hardware level. It is also very, very important. Interview they will ask you, what is the difference between Docker and virtualization? Hardware level of virtualization is called as VMware. OS level of virtualization, Docker or containerization, anything is fine. Sir, container will have operating system file. For example, if I take one server, the server is having 1.5 GB of operating system files. How much? The same files you can create on container, but size will be very, very less, 0.5%. That means almost 70 MB only. How much MB? Whatever the operating system you are seeing on server, that same operating system will come to your containers, but size is only 0.5%. How much? For normally server, the operating system will be 1.5 GB. How much it is? For normal server, OS will be 1.5 GB. But for container, OS size will be 77 MB. How much MB? It is 1.5 GB. It is 77 MB. Compare the ratio, no? 0.5 or not? That's it exactly. So it's about the Docker introduction. Sir, now, if I want to work on Docker, I need to know about the architecture. So this is the last concept I'm going to explain theoretically. So practical, I'll tell from tomorrow. Because like I'm not feeling very well, even not able to speak now properly. Okay. So now see here, Docker components. In Docker, how many major components, sir? 3. What is the first one? Client. Second, host. Third one, registry. How many components we have? Client, host, registry. Inside host, what you are having? Docker daemon, what you are having? Docker daemon. See how it will work is, sir, what is the main purpose of using Docker? To create container. To create container, what you need to have? Image you need to have. What you need to have? Image. Is the point clear? So now see here. First of all, I will ask it. But before that, I will tell you one thing. In Docker, I want to create container. That means I need to have image. If I don't have image, I cannot create the container. Is the point clear? In Docker, what is the main thing first? Image. From the image, what you will get? Container. Inside container, what you will create? Application you can create. First of all, let's take a scenario. This is you. I said one class to you. You will go to the lab. Where you will go to? Lab. In lab, you got one doubt, sir. Who will you ask? Mentors. So when you get some doubt, if you don't have something, you will ask mentors. So mentor try to solve it majorly. If mentor is not able to solve the doubt, mentors are going to approach who? Trainer. Okay? Like this. Now trainer will have solution for the doubts you are getting, right? Now trainer will tell to mentor. Trainer will tell to, and from the mentor, are you getting your doubt solved or not, sir? In lab, while you are practicing, if you get some doubt, you will ask whom? Mentors. If mentors are able to solve it, they will reply. If they are not able to solve it, they will ask me. Okay? Forward path. It is forward path. If mentors are not able to solve it, they are going to ask trainers. So now trainer will have solution for your doubts. Now trainer will tell to mentor. Mentor will tell to you. Is the concept clear? Same architecture on Docker as well. For example, sir, in Docker client, I want to create one container. What I want to create? So this Docker client search for the image. Docker client search for the, if the image is on Docker client, it will create container. But the image is not on Docker client. Docker client will ask whom, sir? Docker host. Docker client will ask whom? Go on. 1 second. Yeah. So Docker client is going to ask whom, sir, here? Docker host. Now Docker host will search. That means mentors are going to find the solution. If they have the solution, they will give to the client. They will give to you. If they don't have the solution, they will approach the registry. Now registry means trainer. Trainer will have every solution or not. Like that, registry is also going to have all the images. In registry, you have all the images you want. Now from the registry, your image is going to given to the Docker daemon or Docker host. From the Docker host, who is going to get the image? Client. So if you see, is the pattern clear, sir, for all of you? Okay, it is a pattern which you need to follow on Docker. That means everything is based on image here. Everything is based on, first of all, client search for image. If client not able to find it, will ask the Docker host. If Docker host have the image, it will give to the client. If Docker host doesn't have any image, it will go for the registry. If registry, we will go, everything will come. Now registry will give to the host. Host will give into the, now client have image. Client will use it or not, sir? That's it. Same concept what is happening on our daily life. I have taken one example. That's it. Now let's understand about the components, each component. First component is Docker client. Docker client means it is the way to interact with Docker. If I want to create one container, I need to give to the Docker client only. Docker client will take the command and gives you the output. It is the primary way many Docker users interact with Docker. When you see commands such as Docker run, the client send the request to the daemon which carry out them with the help of Docker API. That means if I want to create one container, I need to tell to Docker client. This Docker client is going to tell to Docker daemon. How the communication between client and daemon is going to happen? With the help of Docker API. With the help of what? Now second one is Docker host. Docker host means the place where you install Docker. If I install Docker on Linux, like my host operating system will be, if I install on Windows, if I install on Mac OS, that's it. Docker host means the place where you install Docker. Okay, I am writing this on shortcut way for you. 1 second. Coming to the components. First one is Docker client. Docker client means it takes the command and executes. Okay, it takes the commands and execute with communicating Docker daemon. Second one is Docker host. What is the meaning of Docker host? The place where you install Docker. The place where you install Docker. Third one is Docker daemon. Daemon deals with Docker components. That means Docker components means like Docker daemon is going to be on Docker host only. Docker daemon is going to reside on host. Docker daemon is going to reside on host. Docker deals with the Docker component, like it will deal with images. That means it manages images, it manages containers, it manages volumes, like so on. Every Docker component is going to manage by which one? Docker daemon. And daemon, it is inside Docker host. Last one is Docker registry. What is last one? It is what you call as Docker hub. It stores all the images. It stores all the images. So there are majorly 4 components. How many components? 4 components. First one is what? Client. Second one, client spelling is wrong. Second one is host. Third one, fourth one, registry. So on today's class, we have seen about introduction part only. So on tomorrow's class, we are going to have the practical part. Okay. So now, any doubts or any queries on today's class of Docker? Like we have seen about only theoretical part. So let me give the PPT also. I am giving you PPT as well. Before that, let me comment this one. Tell me. It's Ansible deployment. You can, that's what I said, right? If you know how to create your application, you can use your own code as well. Material, I'm going to post it as like Docker. So any doubts or any queries from your end? Offline and online. Okay, so if you don't have any doubts or queries, you can go to the lab and you can practice whatever you want. So today I haven't said any practical part. I'll start practical from tomorrow's class. You can go to lab and you can practice there now. So now all in you too. So today we haven't done any practical part. So practice what you are lagging on. That's it. Thank you. Thank you guys everyone. We'll meet you on tomorrow's class. Bye everyone. No Nirupa, it's not 8 pages. Please check it one more time.